Let's do this.
I'm Arieann DeFazio. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Kitables, and what we do is we give people the confidence to build. Basically what my company does is creates all-inclusive kits for a variety of projects. Everything from electronics, woodworking, cooking, you name it, we've probably tried to do it or have done it. And we do this both for retail, and then we have a B2B side where we make these kits for big businesses like Pinterest and Arrow and Google and all these other people in order to give customers a new experience instead of like a branded water bottle. Because like, how many of those do we really need in the world, right? Like, they just end up in the thrift store. So kind of a way to get people to physically engage with a brand. This is kind of why I started the company. People do not go from sitting on their couch to all of a sudden one day and getting up and deciding to start a company or take their car apart, right? Like that doesn't happen. There are tiny confidence building steps along the way that are necessary, but the opportunities for these are ever dwindling. So I created Kitables in order to provide a version of those baby steps, and my theory, I'm a scientist by trade, my theory is that if you start people with small building projects, because that's how humans learn, they learn through actually physically interacting with things, and you can see this if you put an infant in front of blocks, they're gonna do something with it, right? It's super annoying, they try to do everything with their hands, but this is how humans learn. So the first kit that we actually ever made is called the Ruby Solver, and it was a robot that you built to solve a Rubik's Cube for you. If that isn't the nerdiest goddamn thing you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And then the other one was a chemistry kit where you can make your own glow sticks.
Which fucking one?
The Ruby Solver.
Okay.
Yeah. By like a landslide.
Really?
Like not even close, yeah.
Wow. Do you care to share what you raised on the robot?
It was only like 10 grand
no,
or something.
No, but that's a big deal.
Well, that's another like key insight I have from Kickstarter is if you want to be good at Kickstarters, do mini Kickstarters. Like don't go to Kickstarter being like, I'm gonna be one of those fuckers that raise $1 million. That's not gonna happen. Okay, unless you got like VC money and like, or the coolest thing in the world, chances are it's not gonna happen. But I've had a lot of success with running things that are 10, 15, 20K. And the press you get from it is amazing. And it's tangible. Yeah.
And it's also achieving something. Like being an entrepreneur is really challenging. You don't want to just fail, because then you go like, oh, this is probably a bad idea. Yeah. If you take something tangible and you're like, I'm going to test this, and if I raise 10K, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep climbing. I'm onto something here. So you validate this puppy, you're really smart tactically about figuring out what I should go after because you're asking the market. You let the market tell you, this is interesting, and then you figured out how to make it. It cost you a whole lot more to make than 10 grand, right?
No.
It actually covered it?
Yeah, we were about $1,000 over or something like that.
Brilliant.
I'm an obsessive planner.
Yeah.
And I also had 4 people when I started that process. The day after the Kickstarter succeeded, they all quit. Ooh. So it was my damn self for a year, and I still got it out on time. I think we were actually 20 days late, so close enough. I'm gonna call that close enough within the standard deviation there. And yeah, so it was
touch and go.
I didn't grow the company during that year, guys. I was just like, oh my God, I gotta get this product out. By the way, I never released a product to this point.
Right.
So I had to learn everything from scratch.
So where did you go
by my damn self?
So you survived that year.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was a lonely road. Yeah. You had to do everything on your back. That's the game. Sometimes you're literally carrying the weight of the world by your damn self, especially when people fall by the wayside, and that happens all goddamn day.
You know, and I think this is why a lot of restaurants fail, by the way, is because people I like food.
Right.
I'm gonna start a restaurant. And they don't realize that when you start company, you don't get to do the thing anymore, you get to do company. And that is a completely different thing.
This is so important. This is so important. People are like, I love being a designer. I'm gonna start an agency.
Guess what?
Do you know how to run a business? Because you're no longer a designer. Unless you go and find some co-founders that are gonna do the operations and all you wanna do is design, you have just killed what you are passionate about. This is a very hard lesson.
Yeah, no, it is. And I had a conversation with someone about that today. Like, he's brilliant. He is a brilliant technician. He designs nuclear power plants. This guy's a genius.
Damn.
And he's really struggling with growing his company right now because he's trying to be a CEO and a CTO. And I'm like, dude, you can't do both. He's like,
Unless you're
both.
Elon Musk, you're not pulling that shit.
I don't think he's even doing it. He has like
Yeah.
hundreds
He's
and
got
hundreds
so
and
many
hundreds of people under him, right? Like, he's not doing that. So, yeah, you can't.
It's
You
hard.
gotta pick one, right?
hard.
And just be true to yourself. If you're the technician, if you're the designer, fucking be honest with yourself and go find maybe that co-founder. Maybe that's the point, to go find someone to hire on, or go find a co-founder and be like, this is what I need you to do.
Yeah.
I want to do this part. Be honest with yourself. Like, do you. Don't
This
try
is
to
the
be.
ego. This
Yeah.
is the dance with the ego. The ego drives us to be courageous enough to start a company, but the ego is also a son of a bitch because, you know, she's like, well, I can be the founder and the CEO and the head designer of all the things. What keeps you going? What does keep climbing mean for you? What keeps refueling you so that all the no's, all the maybe, and even some of the setbacks, you go, psh, ain't no problem.
Well, first I'd like to qualify this statement with, I don't think I ever feel like that way about setbacks. I cry a lot.
Good.
I think everybody thinks like, oh yeah, like you'll get rejected by 1,000 investors. You'll just be like, whatever. No, dude,
No.
you're gonna like hate yourself and you're gonna cry a lot. Shit's hard. But I guess what keeps me climbing is, one, I don't think about it too much. Again, we're going back to the I don't ask too many questions. If you really sit there all day, every day and go, what's my purpose in life? Why am I doing this? What's my why? You should think about that a little bit, have intention, set intention. But if you sit there and you try to like figure that thing out to a T, too late. Yeah. I just do it. And that's my thing. I say, just send it. It's on all of the keyboards. We have this little sticker on the enter button. It says, just send it. And I'm just a human freight train with a heart. And that's my fucking goal in life. And like, I just want to do cool things and help other people do cool things too. And that's it. Like, they keep it pretty simple. So
We're not always listening to our heads. We're listening to our guts. We're being drawn towards something. We can't really explain it. It is why we're called fucking the crazy ones. And that's okay.
yeah, and that was a really hard lesson for an analytical scientist to fucking swallow.
Yeah,
which
because you're
was-
like, TikTok,
it's not always
TikTok
about the
makes no
numbers.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just feel it.
And you gotta embrace that. I think that's a beautiful thing about being human. We have both those. Just remember, this is the main brain. Trust this will fall in line. Only trust this, you may constantly be disappointed by being like, oh, I really did overanalyze that again.
Well, what's the saying? Follow your heart, but take your brain with you.
That's right.
I think that's the truest thing in the world.
And that really means the gut.
yeah.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here at another Basecamp. Thank you for joining us.